Hi friends, in this segment we are going to see the story after 20 years. The story is about two best friends. Both of them departed from each other. After 20 years, again they met for an appointment which is committed 20 years ago. We are going to see what happened when both of them met each other. When the story begins, a policeman is walking impressively in a wide street. Regularly, he will be walking impressively, not just for a show because there was no audience to watch at him. It is 10 o'clock at night. It seems as if it may rain, so there was no people in that street. While he was walking along the street, he is watching over the neighborhood houses here and there with his strong appearance. When he was walking confidently, it seems as if he is a guardian of peace. He is noticing all the houses. Only few shops and lunch corners had light. Nearly all the business places are closed. While he was walking in a block, suddenly that policeman slowed down his steps. In that darkness, in front of a hardware store door, there was a man leaning with a cigar in his mouth. When this policeman begins to walk towards him, that man began to speak quickly by saying, "Nothing, officer, I am waiting for my friend. That's an appointment which is done before 20 years. It may look funny to you, is it so?" He was asking like that. Then he tells that, "Okay, let me explain about that." Then he begins to explain or narrate that story. Long back, once upon a time, a restaurant called Big Joe Brady's restaurant, which was situated in this place where this hardware store is now situated. When he tells this, policeman replied, "That is 5 years before, right? Then it is broken up." At that time, that waiting man scratched the match and lit his cigar. In that light, the policeman noticed his pale face, square shaped jaw, and very careful eyes with a white color scar which is near his right eyebrow. Again, he began to talk. He begins to narrate by telling that before 20 years, the same night in that Big Joe Brady's restaurant, he had his dinner. At that time, his best friend is also with him, and his name is Jimmy Wells. So he was telling that we both had our dinner here and we both brought up in New York. Actually, we were together as brothers. I was 18 years old at that time, and he was 20 years old. And after that, the very next day, I went to West in order to earn fortunes. Whereas Jimmy Wells remains in New York because he feels as if New York is the only best place in the world. On that day, both of them they have agreed for a matter, that is, after 20 years, same day, same time, in whatever situation they are, in whatever distance they are in, no matter that they should meet, they must meet both. So both of them promised, and they plan to achieve their goals and earn the fortunes. So immediately when he tells this, immediately that policeman interrupted by telling, "It is interesting to hear you had enough time in between, so don't you know anything about your friend in all these years?" Then that waiting man answered, "Yes, we were in touch with each other. Then after 1 or 2 years, we missed both of our tracks. But I know one thing: if Jimmy Wells is alive, definitely he will come to meet me, because he was a genuine, true friend in the whole world. He won't forget me. I have crossed miles to reach this door at night. If my old partner comes, then it will be worth enough." Like that, he was telling like that it will be very much worth enough if he comes to meet me. So by telling all this, he took out a handsome watch. The lid of that watch is set up with diamonds within it. So 3 to 10 minutes, he announced that it is sharply 10 o'clock. This is the time when we departed from the restaurant door. So he said that anyway, Jimmy will come. Even if he comes slowly, he will come steadily. He will be the same good person. So he was believing that Jimmy Wells will be the same good person. So when he was telling this, that policeman went one or two steps and said, "I'm leaving, your friend will come soon." So that waiting man said that he will give half an hour more to him. If Jimmy is alive in this world, he will definitely come to meet on time. So that policeman left by telling good night to him. Then this gentle breeze started to blow. So that man was waiting for his friend by smoking a cigar. While he waited for 20 minutes, a tall man came towards him with the overcoat from the opposite side. So he came and asked with a doubt, "Are you Bob?" And that waiting man asked, "Are you Jimmy Wells?" So then both of them, they were shaking hands happily. So Bob said, "I know, if you are alive, you will come to me." So 20 years is a big gap. Our old restaurant is also gone. In case if that is here, then we could have had one more dinner. So then Jimmy Wells asked how people treated you, Bob, in West. So Bob replied that he got whatever he asked. Bob said that he didn't expected that. So Jimmy would grow to nearly 2 to 3 inch tall. Because Jimmy also replied, "Yes, I grew up after 20 years old." Because when he met up him when he was youth, at that time he was not this much tall, but he was a little more tall than that. So he was telling that he was in a very good position. Then he asked Bob to go for a walk to the known places. So both went for a walk. Jimmy was telling about his success story. So Bob was also listening to that. In a corner, there was a drugstore. When they reached there, both of them they stared at each other. That man from the west, he stopped and take off his hand from him. Immediately, Bob said, "You're not Jimmy Wells. 20 years is too long, but it is not too long. It is not long enough to change a person's nose, because his nose doesn't looks like Jimmy Wells." So then that man replied, "Sometimes time will change a good man into a bad man." And he called him as Silky Bob and said, "You are under arrest for 10 minutes. And the entire Chicago is thinking that you went missing. If you come silently, it will be good." But before going to station, he handed over a letter to him. He told him to read it out. He informed him that the letter is from Jimmy Wells. So Bob begins to read that. He started to read steadily, but while ending up this letter, his hand started to shake. That note was very short. In that letter, it was written like, "Bob, I came at the right time in the appointed place. When you lit the match in that light, I saw your face. Only then I come to know that you are the most wanted man in Chicago. Anyway, I can't arrest you with my own hands, so I try to find out a person to do what I have to do." So finally, it is written by Jimmy Wells. Actually, the policeman who comes first is Jimmy Wells, his best ever friend. He came at the right time in the right place. When he comes to know that his friend is the most wanted criminal in Chicago, he genuinely wanted to arrest him. As he is his best friend, he found out another man to do that. Thus, the story comes to an end. I hope you could have understood the story, and stay tuned with Learning Station for further videos. Thank you.